Hello, good morning, everyone. Jessica Miller here. It is Sunday, and I'm popping into my page to catch up on some uh, trial prep that I've been doing. And hold on, there we are. I've done two blog posts this week. I did the court trial involving puppies, and then I also had the jury trial where I try to be mean. And I need to get my live videos done for both of them so I can stay on task and on time. So today in this video, I'm going to talk about the court trial involving puppies, and I'll start with a disclaimer that the puppies, while neglected, none of them died. They were all adopted out. There was a significant, they were poodles. They were so cute, guys. Oh my gosh, so cute. But they were all fine. So let's just get that out of the way. So court trials. So in the criminal justice system, while the defendant has the absolute right to a jury trial, the people and defendants can waive their right to a jury trial and proceed by court trial, which means that the judge will stand in the place of a jury and decide guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The judge would hear the evidence and apply the law, and then ultimately define whether or not the defendant was guilty or innocent of the charges. I will tell you that right now I am seeing an influx of court trials, and it's mostly, I think, because we have a kind of a glut in the system right now. We had that year and a half where we weren't doing jury trials in Butte County because of COVID. A year and a half, I want to say probably, I will say 8 months where there were no jury trials. And then we were doing very few jury trials. And now we're getting to a point where we're at least getting 2 trials out a cycle most of the time. But we have just this backlog of trials. And so we have defendants who have waived time, meaning that they have already decided that they do not need to be brought to trial within 30 or 60 days. And it's just time to get a move on, right? And so in the last maybe 3 weeks, I've done like 4 court trials, just because that's just how we're trying, at least me personally, it's a way to get some cases to resolution without having to wait to do a jury trial. And defendants have agreed because they too are also tired of pushing things out. And so hopefully that helps to reduce the burden on the system. Court trials, the benefits of a court trial for a defendant, in my opinion, are usually there's a benefit if it's very sensitive information that will potentially inflame a jury, even though juries are instructed not to let sympathy or bias or prejudices of any kind affect their decision-making abilities. Things like 30 puppies tend to do that. It's just sad seeing little puppies that are neglected. And so for that reason, the defendants, in this case, it was a co-defendant case, they chose to waive their right to a jury trial. I've also seen defendants do it when there's just a legal issue that we need like the facts, and then we're applying a very kind of nuanced legal issue, and sometimes defendants will want to waive jury just so that they can have the court make that determination. Juries are often unpredictable. And so once you give that over to them, you just never really know what's going to happen. I mean, you know what you expect to happen, but it can be a wild card. So in this case, the case was already old when I received it. This was a 2009 incident. And I did not get this to court trial until 2013. It wasn't even assigned to me until 2012. And the case, we used to just have a citation, like what a traffic citation looks like. And in this case, the prosecutor was allowed, they used to have these stamps, and you just stamp it, and that would be the complaint. And so I had this citation, and it had 30 miscellaneous counts of animal neglect and kennel violations on it, and it had just been stamped. And so I get this case, and I have to try and identify each particular count for each particular puppy. And there was like 17 puppies that were in a storage crate, in like a storage container, like those large cargo containers that were in the back of the property. There were another like 13 dogs in a pump house, and then there were dogs inside the house as well. And so for me, the puppies also didn't have any names. And so for me, a lot of my time was spent like identifying where each puppy was on the property, so that we could substantiate not only the location of the dog, but then using the vet records what the condition of the dog was. The dogs were matted, they had feces on them, some were malnourished, some had giardia, some had worms, tapeworms, and so we had to really kind of work through all of those things per puppy. Even now, whenever I think of this case, I think of the Sarah McLachlan song and like Eyes of the Angel, because I literally had this video where animal control is walking up dramatically on a cold February to this storage container, and they open the doors, and then you just see these reflective eyes of puppies looking out at you, and it was just so sad. I should have laughed. It was sad, but then they went through, and thankfully they videotaped everything. Now, I learned the importance of asking in advance questions that you want to talk to your officers about, because I would have assumed that having that many dogs in one location, there would have been an odor, right? You could smell the feces, you could smell just the unkept nature of the dogs. But I did ask my animal control officer beforehand, and the officer who actually went into the storage crate had lost his sense of smell like a decade prior, and he's like, listen, I can't smell anything at all. And so I did not ask him that question because I knew that. Defense counsel did, and immediately was told, no, I can't, I didn't smell anything. And then I followed up with why, and we explained that he had no sense of smell. This case was difficult for me because we had two defendants who were already on felony probation for animal cruelty. They had been running a puppy mill in Sacramento. And so at the time they committed this offense, they were on probation for similar behavior. And they literally told animal control, we are warehousing these dogs because we wanted to start a puppy mill. Well, they don't call it a puppy mill, right? They call it a dog breeding program when we get off probation. And so the fact that they were on probation and it took this long to get them to resolution was a frustrating part of the criminal justice system because this case dragged along because of changes in counsel, because of the waiver of the jury trial, making this lower on the priority chain. And then also court availability. We had to do this a half day at a time, and so it really spanned over, let me see, the trial date. The first trial date was September 28th. We had our second date January 8th, and then our third date was January 18th. And they were not sentenced until May 7th. And so really, even after we started the court trial, it drug out for a long time. With animal control cases, though, one of the things that's statutory is that we can order restitution for the care that the animals received in order to get them back up to health. And in this case, it was about it was $12,000. With fines, they were ordered to pay about $14,000, but the restitution itself for the care of the animals was $12,000 that was necessary. So that's it. That was, I'll put a link in the comments to the blog post on this if you're interested in it. Puppy animal cases always seem to get a lot of public attention just because people don't like it when animals get abused in any form or fashion. And so this one, while it was a misdemeanor in level, it was neglect, not cruelty. It just tugged at your heartstrings, and it's a perfect example of why someone might do a court trial instead of a jury trial. So that is it. Hope you liked it. Let me know if you have questions. I'm happy to provide more information about time waivers or the differences between court and jury trials if that's something that you want more information on. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a good Sunday, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.